A man just broke a world record. He is 32 years old. Most lifters his age have already stopped competing. Their bodies say no. Their knees say no. Their coaches tell them it is time to step back and let the young guys take over. He did not listen to any of that. 242 kilograms. That is the number. Lifted straight up over his head in one giant move by a man old enough to be done with this sport years ago. A man who had already survived 2 surgeries on the exact body part every heavyweight lifter depends on most. He broke the exact same number that a rival once used to beat him in one of the biggest showdowns this sport has ever seen. That story is coming. But first, you need to understand just how impossible this really is. 242 kilograms in the clean and jerk. Say that slow. 2 kilograms. That is heavier than a small motorcycle, heavier than most refrigerators, lifted from the floor, up to the shoulders, then straight over the head in one continuous move. By one man, standing on 2 legs that had been cut open by surgeons twice before. Not a lucky lift, not a fluke on a good day. The actual world record in his weight class. The heaviest anyone in the entire world has ever lifted at that body weight in the entire history of the sport. Not just a good number. The best number ever recorded in the entire history of this weight class. Every single lifter who has ever competed in this category, going back decades, never got this bar this high. Ruslan Nurudinov did. Then he kept it. Nobody has taken it from him. Say that again. The best in the world. At his age. After everything his body had already been through. These athletes sacrificed everything for one number. The least you can do is hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. Andijan, Uzbekistan. Normal city. Nothing about this place says future world record holder. No fancy training centers. No long list of past champions walking those streets. Just a regular city in Central Asia where a boy was born on November 24th, 1991. Ruslan Nurudinov did not grow up dreaming about the Olympics. He did not have posters of famous lifters on his wall. He started lifting weights back in 1999 in a small town called Shanabad when he was just a kid, barely old enough to understand what a barbell even was. He did not do it alone. He did it with his brother. 2 boys, 1 small town, 1 barbell between them. No fancy gym, no famous coach flown in from another country. Just 2 kids figuring it out together in a place most of the world had never heard of and still has not heard of today. Nobody in the big weightlifting world was watching Uzbekistan back then. Big countries with big money, countries that had produced champion after champion for generations, were not looking at a kid from Ahmedabad training with his brother in a place most people could not find on a map if you gave them an hour. Every big program kept scrolling right past him. Every scout looking for the next star had their eyes somewhere else entirely. His body almost stopped him. Not once. Twice. In August 2014, right around the time he was setting world records and looking unstoppable, his left knee needed surgery. It did not go well. The surgery failed to fix what it was supposed to fix. He spent a whole year trying to heal from a surgery that had not even worked properly. A full year. Not competing. Not training the way he needed to. Just trying to get his own leg to work again. Then in 2015, doctors went back in for a second surgery. That one took 10 more months of recovery before he could even think about competing at a high level again. Think about what that actually feels like. You are one of the best in the world at what you do. Your knees are the one thing your entire sport depends on. Every single lift starts and ends with your legs. And twice, doctors have to cut you open. And both times you have no real idea if you will ever be the same lifter again. Almost 2 years of his career disappeared into hospital rooms and rehab centers. 2 years most competitors spend getting stronger. He spent just trying to walk normally again. Most people would have stopped right there. Most people would have looked at 2 failed knees and a career that seemed to be slipping away and quietly moved into coaching or found something else to do with their life. Most people crack under that weight. Ruslan Nurudinov did not stop. Drop it in the comments right now. Do you think a weightlifter can come back from 2 separate knee surgeries in 2 years and still become the best in the entire world at his sport? I want to know what you really think, because what happened next shut every single person up. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, August 2016. The Olympic Games. the biggest stage this sport has to offer. Ruslan Nurudinov steps on the platform. 2 failed surgeries behind him, nearly 2 years of doubt behind him. He lifts 194 kilograms in the snatch. Then he lifts 237 kilograms in the clean and jerk. A brand new Olympic record. Gold medal. Uzbekistan's first ever Olympic gold medal in the entire history of weightlifting. Let that land. 2 knee surgeries, 2 years of uncertainty, and a gold medal around his neck that no Uzbek weightlifter had ever won before him. Then in 2024, at the World Championships in Manama, at an age when most heavyweight lifters have already retired, he did something even bigger. He lifted 242 kilograms in the clean and jerk. A brand new world record. Not a national record. Not a personal best. The actual world record in the entire sport at his body weight. Say it one more time. 242 kilograms. Here is the part that will give you chills. That exact number, 242 kilograms, is the same weight a rival named Ilya Ilyin lifted a full decade earlier to beat Ruslan in what many people inside the sport still call the greatest heavyweight showdown weightlifting has ever seen. Back then, Ilyin took that number and used it to win. He took the moment. He took the glory. Years later, Ruslan Nurudinov took it back. He did not just match the number that once beat him. He made it his own world record, set with his own hands, on his own terms, in the same sport that had already tried to break his body twice. It took him 10 whole years to add just 3 more kilograms onto his own best lift. 10 years for 3 kilograms. Most people outside this sport would call that painfully slow progress. For a heavyweight lifter well past his physical prime, fighting his own aging body every single training session, that is everything. That is a lifetime of work compressed into 3 kilograms that nobody else on earth could add. After that world record lift in Manama, someone asked Ruslan about his age and how much longer he actually planned to keep competing. He did not brag. He did not talk about legacy or history books. He talked about his nutritionist and how much more careful he has to be now with his body compared to when he was young and could get away with almost anything. He said that in today's world, at his age, you simply cannot do this without help like that anymore. No shortcuts left. Just careful, disciplined work, day after day, year after year. That is the whole person right there. A boy from a small town called Xanabad who started lifting with his own brother, with no fancy equipment and no famous coach watching over him. A man who survived 2 knee surgeries that almost ended everything before his career had even fully started. A 32-year-old, later 34-year-old, who still shows up to training, still finds one good chance a year to add more weight to the bar when most of his peers have long since walked away. People who have spent their whole lives around this sport put him in the same breath as the greatest heavyweights who have ever competed. Ruslan Nurudinov is 34 years old now. In weightlifting, that is not just old, it is ancient. Most lifters his age are standing on the sidelines, coaching the next generation, not stepping onto the platform themselves, chasing world records. He is still competing anyway. He has said publicly that he now has to choose his competitions carefully, telling his own national federation he could do one major event or another that same year, but not both. His body simply cannot handle everything anymore. That is what it actually looks like to manage a body this many years into a sport this demanding. The world record clean and jerk in his weight class is 242 kilograms. He set it in 2024. It has stood since then. Nobody has come close to touching it. Do the math on how rare that actually is. A man in his 30s, after 2 knee surgeries, still holding the single heaviest lift ever recorded at his body weight, with every young challenger in the world trying and failing to catch him. So here is what I want you to tell me in the comments. Do you think Ruslan Nurudinov can add even more weight to his own world record before he finally decides to retire? Or has he already given this sport everything he has left to give? Drop it below. Every single comment gets read. And if you want the full breakdown of the biggest heavyweight rivalries in this sport's history, including exactly what happened between Ruslan and Ilya Ilyin all those years ago, subscribe, because that video is coming very soon.